Hello and welcome to Inside the Bear's Den. My name is Christian. On today's episode, we are joined by renowned psychic medium Tessa Delzoppo, who will perform a very special reading for 3 of our guests who she's never met before. But before we bring out the guests and let Tessa get to meet them, I had a chance to sit down with Tessa and ask her about her very unique ability. I'm with Tessa Delzoppo, psychic medium. And Tessa, my first question for you is, at what age did you realize that you had this gift?
I was young. I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
I went through a lot of, you hear a lot about people with like near-death experiences or just being really sick and that possibly triggering whatever ability I have. And so I was really sick as a kid. And then it was right after that where I started seeing my uncle, actually, who I never knew. He passed before I was born. Wow. And he would come to my room every single night. So I was about 5 years old. And wow. It was after that that I really realized that not everybody saw the same things as me. Yeah. So I was young.
That has to be super overwhelming to be that age. Were you familiar with your uncle, like from pictures, or you heard stories about him?
No. Wow. I knew nothing about him until I brought that information to my family. Because I was afraid of it, not knowing what it was. And then finally I brought it to my mother's attention, and she told me it was her brother who passed in the house that we lived in before I was born.
Wow. What, in your estimation or your opinion, is the biggest misunderstanding that people in the world have about mediums?
There are so many misunderstandings, and I think the biggest one is psychic versus a medium. So a psychic is, somebody who can supposedly tell the future or predict things. I don't claim to do that. As a medium, I connect directly with people who have passed. And so my information comes through that way. So I can't predict lottery numbers. I don't know the future.
Sorry, everyone.
I know, sorry. Or I would have, won already. But I speak directly to the people who have passed.
As someone that has been in the room, I've been here in the Bear's Den when you sold it out last time. I'm not gonna call myself a skeptic, but what I experienced during your show that night really opened up my mind, because there were things that you were connecting with people and channeling and sharing messages that it was easy for me to see that you were really connecting with them, and I could see the emotion in their face and the reaction, and it was just super powerful. Like, it was just a very powerful experience. And that room actually was the Bear's Den.
It was.
And it was sold out.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you, being a hometown gal and selling out the Crown Jewel's best small showroom in all of North America in your hometown?
It really is the best showroom, and it was an unbelievable audience that night. And you had said you were a little bit of a skeptic, and I always say that skeptics are really just people who have never had their own personal experience yet, which is why I love doing, a scene like this in a gallery setting with an audience, because a lot of people have maybe never had an experience. There might be half the room is skeptics,
Yeah.
But in a room like this, you witness spirit communication firsthand. You witness other people having those experiences. So selling out a room like this, the Bear's Den, the energy was unbelievable, And everybody, I think the readings that happened and kind of the healing, the validation, the closure for everybody that I read, along with the experience that everybody else had within the room, I think it was kind of life-changing for whoever was in the room.
So it's no secret that the pause on live entertainment was a bad time there's never a good time for any of what we've gone through in the entertainment industry. But for someone like you, who is, you were really developing a lot of traction, like your live shows were starting to pick up, and you've stayed so busy, and we've stayed connected, we're engaged on social media and things like that. And you stayed so busy throughout the pandemic and the closure. You're really thinking out of the box. Like, you created a podcast, you're doing, virtual readings, you're on Instagram Live, you're on Facebook Live. You have A-list celebrities that are joining you on your podcast. How do you do it all? How do you balance that, being a mother and everything that you have going on? Like, how do you do it?
I have no idea, honestly. But it was really this moment when the pandemic hit that I think a lot of people, but entertainment specifically, had to recreate and redesign really what that looked like. And so you're right, you know, traction was picking up. I love doing live shows. I've been in, you know, on a stage since I was 3 years old. So for that to shut down, it was devastating, but I had to do something. So I did translate that into a podcast. I did virtual readings all over the world, really. It was nationally, internationally. And I think that's kind of the positive side of the pandemic, is it forced people, you know, into this virtual world, but yet we can reach more people that way. So, you know, I reached a ton of people. My podcast launched. I did have a lot of celebrities, people from The Sopranos and comedians and Broadway people.
Yeah.
So it was really exciting. And that podcast is going to relaunch soon. And there's like a ton more people that I'm going to be interviewing and stuff. So it's been great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've had a lot of fun, you know, following you and watching those and watching the podcast. And you've also been a guest on other people's podcasts as well. Can you speak to some of that experience?
Yeah, you know, everybody kind of developed a podcast, it feels like, which, you know, is cool because there's so many different avenues to go with it. And I was invited on a ton of different, you know, paranormal podcasts, or because people want to know about what I do as a medium. So I've had a ton of fun talking about it and doing live readings for people.
People that already know you love you, and people that are about to get to know you are going to love you. Where can they find you on the internet, social media? What are your handles? Where can people connect with you?
Facebook and Instagram. I do lives, you know, throughout the week. And it's Tessa Delzoppo, Psychic Medium, or just at Tessa Delzoppo on Instagram. I'm launching my website, tessadelzoppo.com, and through there you'll be able to access my podcast, and it's also up on YouTube, so my YouTube contains all of my podcasts and live readings, but when my website launches, people will be able to follow along with any events that I have or just different things that I have coming up.
Well, Tessa, thank you so much for joining us here inside the Bear's Den. I've had a chance to speak to the 3 ladies who are going to be on the stage with you to be read. They're so excited, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you.
I am a medium, connecting our world to the spirit world. Relaying messages from souls of our loved ones on the other side. Bringing validation, closure, and healing. Join me as we shed light to the burning question, what happens when we die?
I am so excited to have you guys here. This is brand new for, I think, everybody. Me especially, because the last time that I was here, I had an entire crowd, but I'm excited to meet you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. I know a couple minutes ago I had asked if you've ever had a reading before, and I think all of you have pretty much been read by somebody before, yeah?
Yes.
So I always say mediums, we all read differently. We pick things up differently. We deliver the message differently. But for me as a medium, you know, I've been picking things up since I was 4 or 5 years old. And so the way that I've learned to develop and to deliver my readings is, my goal is to deliver some sort of validation, closure, healing, that our loved ones are still with us, even if they're not here in the physical world. So throughout my years, you know, I've really tried to hone in on just focusing on the souls who have passed, and to deliver that to you in such a way that you are sure that they're at peace and that they're still around us. Because I think that's like the biggest question everybody has, is kind of what happens when we die.
Yep.
I don't really have all the answers, but figuring it out as I go along. So I have no idea what's going to happen today, or who I'm going to pick up on. I always say, you know, Spirit gives us whatever we need. You know, I've never not been able to pick up on somebody's loved ones, but I don't know who's going to come through. So I guess we'll find out. I'm not sure. The minute that we started walking on stage, though, I felt a very strong mother figure, and I feel as though she may have passed more recently. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm with one of you guys over here. But when I say a mother figure, I definitely feel sometimes they could be a grandmother. It could be somebody who would have been like a mother to us, but she stands directly next to, and I'm very drawn to you for a moment, because as I start to tune in, so has Mom passed for you?
Yes.
Okay. And it's strange because whenever Spirit shows me, so I always have different I have like a dictionary. It's crazy, right? And how did they pass? I ask questions. And the one thing that I pick up on with Mom is she went like this to my stomach and she took a deep breath in like this and she made it hard for me to breathe. So did something affect her here in the chest?
Well, she had breast cancer.
Okay. So when she directed me here to the chest, she said it made it, when she took a deep breath in, that's also symbolic that it may have taken a while whenever she goes like this because she progressed it. Mm-hmm. Did she actually recover from something and then it came back? Does that make sense to you? Because she showed me two. Like it happened here and then years went by and it came back.
Correct.
But at that point, she says it went pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Okay, so the other thing she wants to say to you is she keeps saying, she goes, thank you for not moving me. So do you understand that? Because there was a point where she said, you were thinking, do I keep her home or do we put her someplace else? Or this could be symbolic of taking her back home because she says, I got to pass with you guys surrounding me almost at home. Is that correct?
That's true.
Because she says, thank you for that, and I realized how difficult it was to keep me at home, but she thanks you for that. Okay? Yep. Did you also call somebody to come in from out of town to be there? Because she shows me somebody traveling in to come to see her.
You know, I can't, it's been a number of years, but I think most of her family was there, but I don't know that there was anyone from out of town.
Because she shows traveling of some sort, of somebody coming in from out of town to specifically be there. So just keep it in mind.
Okay.
I know it's been a while, but also, his dad passed?
Yes.
Okay, because she just pulled him forward. And it was kind of funny because he was waiting there. And then she's like, okay, now you can talk. So he came forward and he seems as though he would have passed after her.
Yes.
Okay, because he goes, I couldn't wait to be back with her.
No.
And so know that they come forward together,
cool.
Okay, and that she would have waited for him, which is why he stood where he did, to say that we're finally back together.
Oh, nice.
Now, would he have passed from something in the heart?
No, actually he had kidney cancer.
Why would he have shown me that something up here would have failed?
I don't know.
And then he just went here. He actually talked about up in here. So did he lose communication then? Because he says from here up, it was almost like it went black. Whenever Spirit shows me going black or blacking out, that means that something from here died down right near the end.
I mean, he wasn't speaking at the end, you know.
Okay. Because he goes, regardless of what else was going on, this is what bothered me the most. That he couldn't, was he a talker?
Not too much, but we were trying to talk to him at the end.
Okay.
And he wasn't talking back.
He was like, forget about what happened down here. That was, he goes, we couldn't change that. But he goes, but from here up, when I couldn't speak to you, that was the hardest part for him. So he goes, can you let her know that I'm okay now?
Okay. Cool.
Okay. How do you connect with the month of April coming up next month? Is there a birthday anniversary?
There's a birthday.
Okay, because I keep
Two
seeing...
birthdays.
There's two birthdays? Oh, wonderful. Who are they for?
My granddaughter and my stepson.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Because I keep wanting to say happy birthday next month, happy birthday, to acknowledge that they're around and to validate that they still are aware of birthdays and things like that. But then he pushes me forward to, I keep getting 2 months. I keep going to July and then August. So is there significant birthdays or anniversaries in July and August?
Actually, April might have been my parents' anniversary. It was the first day of spring, I believe.
Okay.
And then August is my sister's birthday, my oldest sister's birthday.
Is there 3 of you?
No, there's 4.
Oh, there's 4. 3 of one gender, 1 of the other? Gotcha. Because he goes, are there 3 girls?
3 girls
and a boy.
1 boy. Yeah.
He loved his girls, your dad.
Well, actually, I have 3 sisters, so 4 girls, 1 boy.
Gotcha. Okay. Because he talks about the 3 other girls and how much you guys meant to him. And then who carries the name? Because whenever Spirit shows me a mirror in front of each other, it means somebody carries my name. So is mom or dad talking about the person who would carry his name?
None of us have her name. My niece has her name, my sister's daughter.
Your niece has her name? So and this happened after mom passed?
No, before.
Oh, before. Okay. Because normally sometimes they'll come forward to say, I know about this because I wasn't here to validate that, but maybe she's just referring to that. Now, did your niece just have a baby or something? Why do I keep wanting to say congratulations? Because she brought up whoever has the name, and then she wants to say congratulations to them.
Oh. No, she did. My other niece had a baby recently.
Okay. So she's acknowledging the niece having the baby.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So she just wants to validate, number one, that she's okay and she's at peace, that she's with Dad, and that the both of them are very much around and aware of everything going on. But most of all, to say thank you for taking care of them the way that you did. You smell Mom a lot, and for some reason I just saw, what is with like the lilacs, or how do you connect with lilacs?
Oh, she did. We had lilac trees when we were growing up. And
Do you smell it once in a while?
I just bought some lilac air freshener.
You just bought air fresheners?
It was lilac smelling.
Because she says, you smell me through this, and like I loved these flowers, or I somehow connect to it. So if you understand it through you just bought air fresheners, that's fair enough.
And she did like lilac.
So please just know that they're okay.
Good.
And that they're together.
Great.
All right?
That's good to know.
Yeah. I also have to say that there's well, there's another mother figure too. But for some reason I feel like I'm shifting. Did you lose Mom as well?
No.
Okay. So how do you understand the woman who would have passed from... Okay, so I just asked her where she belongs. So sometimes what happens is I'll ask where a person stands so that I know who they belong to. She stood near you. I don't know, did your mom have a sister? Do you have an aunt who would have passed?
No.
That's interesting, because there's a woman who stands next to you, and she talks about being a mother figure to you, but that she had a very progressive illness. That's interesting. So I'm going to hold on to...
My grandmother, but that was years ago. She did have a very progressive illness.
Okay.
But...
And you were close with her like a mother?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's weird because I asked her to clarify what that progressive illness would have been, and she says it basically went through my body. So do you understand that, or it would have affected more than one part of the body?
Yes.
Okay. And is this Mom's side, so I understand? Because she stood directly on Mom's side. That's why it confused me.
Yes.
Okay. So she says, I had this progressive illness that would have went through the body. She moved up to the head, and she said something really affected up here. So you understand that?
Alzheimer's.
Okay. So the way she comes through, I always say spirit is the exact same way that they were here in the physical world. So if they had a spunky attitude here, that's how they were on the other side. And she came through and she's like, can you let her know that I'm back to being myself? And she's very...
Okay.
And for me, like, I'm pretty spunky, so even for me, I was like, she's fun. But she comes forward as very much wanting to let you know that she's back to normal, because she said that this illness up here really diminished who she was. And that was the hardest thing, I think, for everybody around her in the way that she showed it to me. The gentleman standing next to her just saluted, so would that be your grandfather?
Yes.
Okay. And it's funny because he just showed me a collection of watches. So I don't know how you understand the watches, whether this would be for Mom or for him, but he showed me like a little case with some watches in it. Symbolic for like my jewelry that I used to wear. So did Grandpa wear or have like a really nice watch?
He didn't, but my father did.
Oh, your father did.
And he was in the Navy.
Oh, your father was in the Navy.
So it could be him.
Okay.
Hanging out with my grandfather.
Okay.
Liked him.
Perfect. So know that Grandma would have pulled him forward. Then I always say however you understand it, whatever makes sense to you. Mm-hmm. So if you feel that that would be Dad, can I have his first name?
John.
John?
John.
Okay. So that was like the biggest thing that he wanted to talk about. He's like, you got to let her know that I know that they have my watches, because he loved his watch. And you said he was in the Navy, which is funny because he had mentions a picture. Like, he just showed me a picture, and it's funny because they show me things I might understand. My grandfather had a picture of a Navy ship, and then everybody like kind of in front of him. Mm-hmm. So is there like a picture that's framed like that, like a longer picture of some sort of ship, or?
No.
It's either him or Grandpa showing this.
No, we have some pictures though like that.
Like
in photo albums, but nothing's framed.
Okay. So he's acknowledging these pictures because he says this was a very prominent part of my life, and he was very proud of it. Yeah. They also show me how they want you to recognize them, or how they look now. Mm-hmm. They always come in their best form, or what they felt was like the best part of their life. Mm-hmm. So when Dad steps forward and he's in military uniform and he salutes to me, that means I'm back to being myself. How do you understand something with the legs? He just made my legs feel numb. and he made me want to sit down. Like I literally felt like I wanted to sit down for a minute. So why would he make me feel like I'm losing ability here, or mobility, maybe I should say?
I can't imagine what that could be.
Would it be him or Grandpa? It's definitely one of them.
Oh, it could have been Grandpa.
Okay, because both of them are here.
Right, okay.
So I'm not sure, and they just kind of jump in whenever they want to, but I feel like somebody would have lost mobility in my legs.
He didn't lose mobility, but he had, it was a hard time walking, circulation issues, let's put it that way.
Okay, because he made me feel like I wanted to just sit down, like I just couldn't get around. But he goes, and I don't know if he liked to dance, because for some reason he makes me feel like I'm back up and kind of bopping around and wanting to dance around. So know that he's acknowledging that this is better, that I'm back to normal, that I'm with Grandma. And what was Grandpa's name?
Joe.
Joe. Okay. I'm like, they sound familiar. I kept wanting to say John, but there was something else with the J, so I'm like, what are their names? So Joe and John. So with your father, how do you understand, he snapped his fingers and said, I passed fairly quickly?
Because that's how he went.
Okay.
Immediately.
Yeah, because he said that whenever he goes like this, when Spirit says this, it means they were kind of blindsided. He wouldn't have known that he was going to pass. And I kind of feel like whenever he showed me a clean slate, and when Spirit shows me that, that means I was pretty healthy. So there should really be no reason as to why this happened. You understand that?
I do.
Okay. He goes, there was nothing that could have been done. And I feel like Mom, especially, feels bad because she's like, well, what if we would have taken him to, was he kind of hesitant to go to the doctor?
No, he had just gotten a clean bill of health.
Oh, he got the clean bill of health?
And he died instantly.
Okay. Because he says there's a lot of guilt surrounded by however you understand this, whoever this may be, that, well, we should have looked further. Or maybe if he would have went to a different doctor, maybe we could have figured something out. And he goes, just let them know there was nothing that could have been done. Everybody was blindsided, but he needs you to know he's okay due to the nature of the passing. Okay? So please know that he's okay. He's at peace. He's with Grandma. And your grandfather comes forward too. How do you acknowledge the month of September for a birthday or anniversary?
It's my parents' anniversary.
Okay, so please wish her a happy anniversary from Dad. He hands her roses. He just keeps handing roses to her.
Her name is Rose.
Of course it
You're gonna make me cry.
It's okay. So he did that as kind of a piggyback message. So your mother's name is Rose. He hands her roses and wishes her a happy anniversary. He says she celebrates it every single year.
She does, even though they weren't together when he passed.
Yes, because he says she did everything for me, no matter what, whether they were together or apart. She said she still did everything for me, and he wants you to know especially how grateful he was. He also comes forward with somewhat of an apology. I don't know why he shows a distance from, like he shows like the family here, but then he shows him at a distance. And he goes, I'm sorry for that. Okay, so just keep that for you. I won't go any further than that. But he needed me to say that to you. Okay?
I understand.
Good. Thank you so much.
He's never come through any time I've ever seen a psychic or a medium.
Do you know how many people say that to me?
He has never. So it's...
I get it all the time. They're like, I've gone to many mediums, but they've never come through. Maybe they just, I don't know.
And you were talking about April and namesake and all that, and I thought, my brother's name is John, so is my father's. My father's birthday is April, and I thought, oh boy, he must be not, you know.
But you know what? That's the perfect representation of what I talk about when it comes to me doing live shows or in an audience setting. Is I was speaking to her, to Donna, and you understood what I was saying to her, but it's also because your loved ones are here as well. So I don't know how it happens, but I know that the universe puts people together, especially when it comes to a setting like this, where sometimes the messages can be from more than one person, or you might understand something as well, to validate that they're here. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for letting me channel them, and I'm happy that your dad came through.
Yes. So am I. I can't wait to tell my sister.
Got to tell everybody.
That's right.
And it was funny because then as I'm speaking about Dad, I want to come over here to you too. So has Dad passed for you as well?
No idea.
What'd you say?
No idea.
No idea, okay. So there is a father figure that I have to acknowledge that sits next to you, okay? And as I started talking about healing and closure and all of those things, I kept hearing very strongly, and it's funny because Spirit has no concept of like who I'm talking to or what time it is, and he's like, you have to tell her that I'm sorry. Okay, so I felt this father figure step forward. He sat down directly next to you and he goes, I need her to know that I'm sorry. I do also feel that there was something to do with substance. So however this person passed, it had to do with whether there was drinking involved or something along those lines. And then there's also a younger gentleman who passed very quickly who stands next to him as well. Okay? And when I say young person, that means that they definitely passed before their time. So this father figure steps forward and brings this young gentleman through. And the minute that I connect with him, he showed me my symbol for blindsided as well. So I feel as though that this was a tragic passing, and I feel as though he wouldn't have seen this coming. So do you understand who that is? Now, who would this be in relation to you? He's very shy. I have to say that it's almost like, well, there's cameras on me. I can't talk in front of the cameras.
My husband's cousin.
Your husband's cousin? And what's his first name?
Eric.
Eric? Okay. So, when I asked him to clarify this, he said, did this happen more recently? Because
yes.
It did happen recently, because it's weird. On my end, I can feel whether Spirit's been gone a while or if they just passed. He feels shy but anxious to talk because whenever Spirit shows me question marks, that means there's a lot of questions around what happened to me. You understand that? Mm-hmm. So are people actually looking into this currently?
No.
Okay. So what he showed me, if this will make sense to you, he showed me whether it be the family or whoever it is, it's like they seek answers. When they show me big question marks around what they're trying to tell me, that means there's unanswered questions. Why did this happen? Was somebody under the influence around the time of this happening?
No idea.
How do you understand? Why do I keep feeling it was an accident? Why do I keep hearing accident, accident?
It was an accident.
Okay. And was somebody hit from the side?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he showed me, he goes, can you let them know? He goes, I wouldn't have seen this coming, but was he in a car by himself?
No.
Okay. So was he the only one who passed?
Yes.
Okay. Because he says, I'm the only one who would have passed, but this other person, whoever was in the car with him, carries this survival's guilt. How do you understand that?
No car. Not a car.
Oh, it wasn't a car. He was just hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. However you understand it. I don't know. He just showed me from the side, and he said, I need them to know, though, that I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, was he brought to a hospital after that? Because he says, even though this happened here, I need them to know that I knew I was surrounded after the fact. So who would have went afterwards? There's one person in specific, and he's being very specific about this. Okay. It's hard because I usually, when I ask them to be specific, he's like, no, I'm telling you, somebody came to see me. Like, he was very specific. Somebody came to him directly afterwards. So I don't know. Hold on to it, okay?
He had already passed and they came?
Mm-hmm. It's like somebody came to wherever he was, whether it be a hospital, wherever they transported him to. He goes, and I knew that this person was here. Okay. And that's very important because whoever that was, he's being like very adamant about it. And he's like, I need them to know that I knew they got there.
I gotcha.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. I'm like, he would not let that go. I thought I was stubborn, but he was like, no, you got to get her to understand.
He's saying if it's male or female?
What'd you say?
Is he saying if it's male or female?
No. He just said, whoever this is, I need them to know that I knew that they had come there for me.
Okay.
Okay. He also talks about something very special being done for him. He shows a group of people and something about tattoos as well.
Yes.
You understand that? So he goes, I need to thank them for doing this. I need them to know I'm okay. Does he have children?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He goes, I have to tell them that I'm around the children. Does he have a son? Like a boy and a girl? I feel like there's like boy, girl.
Yeah.
You understand that? Okay, because he goes, I'm around both children, but I feel like the son is taking it really hard. There's some connection between the son and him, and he's just like, I need them to know I'm sorry, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, is the way he said it.
Okay.
Okay. So I need you to know he's okay. Did his father also pass?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because he said, I also need them to know that Dad is here, so he brought Dad forward with him to let you know that he's not alone. So when he did, because Dad passed before him?
Yes.
Okay, because he goes, Dad was there to greet me. One of the biggest questions was due to what happened to me and how tragic it was. He goes, Dad was there, I wasn't alone. So that's also very important to him. Okay, so please know that he's at peace and that he's doing okay, he's with Dad. There's also something about, there's somebody in relation to you. There's somebody directly next to you. Feels like a very strong mother figure too who wanted to step forward for you. So would Grandma have passed?
Yeah. Yes, but I didn't know.
So whenever Spirit comes forward, even if we didn't have a connection with them here in the physical world, she steps forward to say that she's been with you all along.
Okay.
Almost as a guidance or a protective figure for you. Because she said, you've been through so much. That she goes, I've had to stand by her through all of it, and she needs you to know how proud she is of you. Okay? And how much you've been the rock for the other people in the family, because I feel like you've lost a lot of people. It's weird because as I look at you, normally if this whole room is full, yeah, if the whole room is full, there's like tons of people here, right?
They never shut up.
Great. Because for you, just you in general, you have quite the amount of people behind you. But Eric was his name?
Yes.
Was the strongest one that needed to step forward, because I said it, Spirit will give you what you need. And he's like, I absolutely needed them to have some closure for what happened to me.
Okay. I find it odd because of the way that he passed it was just, there was nothing that, no one could have done it. When you say freak accident. Mm-hmm.
That's what it felt like. He said I was blindsided.
Well, because that's where he was hit.
In the head?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And it's, no matter how somebody passes here in the physical world, regardless of how tragic it is, sometimes you hear these horror stories about people saying, well, they're not at peace, or they're not, they died tragically, so how could they be at peace? But the truth is that regardless of how they've passed, they're always at peace.
Right.
They just need us to realize that. We have a harder time here in the physical world understanding that, but they're doing okay.
I understand why he wants me to tell, because I'm at peace I'm just one of those kind of people. I see
You're
a white
that rock.
light. Yeah, I see the white light all the time.
Right.
There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, and that's exactly why your grandmother, when she stepped forward, she was like, I need her to know that I've had her back through all this, because you've been that rock for other people. So please know that he's okay, and everybody else is okay here with you. You got like a posse coming.
They're noisy.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me channel your loved ones as well. Is there any questions that you guys might have for me?
Do loved ones send signs sometimes to show you that they're there?
All the time. But I say every person's different.
Mm-hmm.
So, you hear a lot of different common things, like, we talked about like the lilacs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Spirit will make us smell things a lot, which I feel like, I don't know for you, I don't know why I smell like some sort of like a cigar or something around you. So who used to smoke?
Well, my grandfather's name was Smokey Joe.
Okay.
Why don't you just come and stand over here?
Smokey Joe. That's a new one. Okay.
Good.
So, and that's, so if you smell things like that remind you, I always say, like, it's easy for us while we're going about our day to possibly miss signs or miss what they're trying to send us, but they will do whatever they can to catch our attention, So I always say too, don't discount whatever you see. So if you feel like that penny on the floor is from somebody, know that it is. Mm-hmm. So always trust your own gut.
Okay.
I'm wondering if this group around me, I'm looking for non-related female mother figure.
Okay. Have her first name?
Penny.
Penny. Okay. Gotta remember my police.
Penelope.
Penny. Whenever Spirit shows me something that, so She checked something off to me, and that meant that something was not found in time or something was misdiagnosed. So does that make sense to her?
Yes.
Okay. It's strange because she said, I knew I was sick, but I didn't want anybody else to know. And she says by the time it progressed to where it was, she says, they lost me like that. She goes, and I need them to know that I'm sorry for hanging on to that for so long. But she was almost nervous. It was weird because I think I said at some point that somebody was afraid to go to the doctor or didn't go to the doctor in time. And she says she held off for a little while. Does that make sense to you? Because she says it just wasn't found in time. Was she with you from a young age?
Teenage, yeah.
Because she goes, I pretty much watched you grow. And I know you said a mother figure to you, but she goes, I pretty much was a mom to you. Like, I pretty much am one of the closest people that you would consider mom. You understand that?
Yes.
So she needs you to know that she sees you that way, that she will always be there for you. Why does she go here to my throat and make it difficult for me to swallow and also to breathe? It's weird because she makes me feel like it's affecting all up here. Mm-hmm. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. She goes, because I feel like I didn't get to say goodbye to you. It's weird, right? Because we feel sometimes like we didn't get to say goodbye to them, but she goes, I didn't get to say goodbye to you. So she wants you to know she's taking this moment to be able to say goodbye to you, but not so much goodbye, like I need you to know I'm here with you. Did you also have the dream about her? Mm-hmm. Okay. She goes, that was real. Because I feel like sometimes your logical mind will try to hop in and be like that, and maybe that wasn't her, maybe I was making that up. And she said, please let her know that that was absolutely me. How do you understand the letters written? Or something with her handwriting? She just wrote down some letters. Did you write something for her? She's also being very specific about this. There's something about handwriting.
My handwriting. People are always talking about my handwriting. I have a very strange.
Oh, you have strange handwriting?
I have strange handwriting. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if she's trying to poke fun at you or what, but she's.
Well, I mix things, like I print and do cursive.
What did you write for her though that you gave something to her with your handwriting on it? It's like you made her something, and it was very specific. And I don't know if you have this now, like something you gave to. I feel like it was a regift, like you gave her something, and now you have it back. She also brings up your necklace. Or a necklace that would be in remembrance of her. But she made me look at your necklace just now. And I know I liked it when I
first said. Piece of jewelry.
Okay. So you have her jewelry
yes,
then?
I still have it.
Okay. But she says you don't wear it.
I can't.
She's like, why? But she's talking about too, there's something about, did you used to go near, okay, so as the years went on, you used to go to her house, is that correct? And
yes.
You used to help to take care of her? She goes, the
yes.
roles reversed. She goes, I used to take care of her for a long time, but then the roles reversed and you kept coming to her.
Yes.
But there was a period of time where was there like a couple day time span where you didn't hear from her and you knew something was wrong?
Yes.
Okay, because she goes, this is the time span I want to talk about. She goes, I need her to stop feeling bad about that because you would constantly go to see her, and something prevented you from it, but it was a good reason. And she goes, can you please tell her to stop feeling bad about that? She wasn't supposed to be there. Okay. She goes, I'm absolutely fine. I'm always around. She wants you to hold on to that piece of jewelry that you keep of hers because she says this is how you connect to her. Okay?
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was an ex-boyfriend's mother.
Okay.
So I definitely understand where I couldn't be there because there was a new person.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. And trust your own, I say this to everybody, but trust your own intuition. You know, our connection that we have with people here in the physical world, it doesn't go away, it just changes. Mm-hmm. So trust what she shows you, because she's very protective of you still. And you know that, because she comes to you quite often. So she goes, just tell her to trust what you see and feel from me, because I'm always around you. Okay? Well, thank you guys. Does anybody else have any other questions for me?
I'm interested to know how my father passed, because he was healthy, and it was instantly, and it was, I mean, he was on a basketball court, and it was just over with.
Why do I feel like something moved? So when spirit shows me something moving, could be a blood clot, aneurysm, something along those lines. Does that make sense to you?
It could have been that. We didn't have an autopsy, so I
He
don't
goes,
know if it was anything.
It wasn't even detected. So I don't know, oh my God, I'm horrible when it comes to medical stuff, but there was something that wasn't detected, but he said it moved quickly. Okay. So he goes, it wasn't detected, I was healthy, but nobody would have known about it, but he said something moved. And he showed me moving like this way, so up into the head, okay, which would have caused him to collapse, because he said that it feels like an aneurysm or something like that. But he's okay, and he's at peace.
Good.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys doing this with me.
Wow is all I have to say after that. Tessa, thank you so much for being here. I'd like to thank our guests. I'd like to thank you at home. We'll see you next time.
I'm Cami Clooney, and thank you so much for watching this episode of Inside the Bear's Den.
On our next episode, we will have part 2 of the world premiere of Cami Clooney and Vitamin D3. They will perform many of the songs that made the world fall in love with Cami when she competed on season 19 of NBC's The Voice. You won't want to miss it.